Hello. How are you guys doing? Hope you are well. Hey Brooklyn, hey Angel. Hey Kaiwan. What's up everybody? So cruel. Oh man. Well, what's up everybody? Welcome to General Hospital After Show. Hey Edmund. What up? Oh man. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Mine was a bit chaotic but fun otherwise. But yeah, we're talking about GH today. This week left me feeling every kind of emotion under the sun, which is not as great as that might sound. I mean, sure, there were happy moments, but there were a lot of moments of anger and frustration and honestly a bit of numbness. Like some of these storylines that these writers are coming up with while they wrap up some of their previous ones have me wondering if these writers have a clue as to what the viewers want for the characters that they like. It's just... I mean, come on. Like, the biggest obvious WTF moment on the show this week was the revelation that Holly is Sasha's mom. Angel, you said they haven't broke up yet. I hope Sasha's not trying to go through... Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, for those keeping up, Holly is Sasha's mom, and it seems very likely that Robert Scorpio is Sasha's dad, which would make Sasha and Cody kissing cousins. Because Mac is Cody's father and Robert potentially is Sasha's father. So, like, honestly, obviously, I didn't see that one coming. This is so dumb to me. But essentially, Felicia had met Holly at the PC Grill, and she was looking at what I assume to be an old magazine that had Cody and Sasha like in an ad for Deception. And Felicia pointed out that the guy was Mac's son. And then Felicia pointed out that the girl next to him was his girlfriend, and Holly's face turned pale as it can get. Next thing we know, Holly's at the Quartermain mansion. Sasha answers the door and says, "What are you doing here, mother?" So, I'm just saying all that stuff out loud, it's mind-boggling to me. Like, so, not only are they retconning the fact that Sasha didn't know her mother, but we're also supposed to believe that the last couple of times that Holly's been in town, during the time that Sasha was being drugged by doctors and manipulated by Gladys to feed her gambling addiction, Holly couldn't have cared less because she was too busy giving Victor Cassadine erectile dysfunction. That's what we're supposed to believe. Like, and then Holly lowers the boom and tells her that she can't date Cody because his uncle is her father. Like, I just don't get it. Hey, Sandy. Angel, you said first cousins, they gotta go to a genetic counselor before they have a child. Sasha never had an English accent, so that's kind of crazy. Well, I mean, it's hard to say. Because if she's been around Americans, you know, like, people do lose their accents and gain new ones depending on what part of the world they're in as well. Hal, you said I never thought would say after 3 years I'm done with the show. I can't even blame you, honestly. Kaiwani says, is it because Sasha wants to become a cook because her father was? Oh, man. Sandy said this is the craziest story ever. Hey, Nathan. So like, listen, though. Like, all that I just said is enough, right? But, so this is Holly's story. Apparently, after Robert died in 1992, she got pregnant with his child. Even though she was still on the show for a whole other year after he died, helping Mac take care of Robin, and then dating Bill Eckert after that. And somehow, in that time frame, she had Robert's baby. So, it's just, now, I mean, I guess to be fair, you can maybe argue that as of now, it's not 100% confirmed that Robert is Sasha's father, but to me, at the very least, it seems very obvious that Holly definitely thinks he is. Like, her reaction to Cody being Sasha's boyfriend seemed very genuine, especially considering no one on screen at that time knew that she had a daughter. Like, so, you know, it's crazy. Also, Holly tells Felicia and Mac, or sorry, not Felicia and Mac, Felicia and Maxie the whole story the next day. And Maxie doesn't buy a lick of it. It was giving very classic Maxie energy, which I appreciated. But I still don't think Holly's lying, sadly, so I don't know. Angel, you said it. Horrible ass retcon. Yeah, Sasha, you said Sasha has been saying she got no family, and Holly knows good well this girl has been in town for years, and she could have told you. Yeah, exactly. Brooklyn, you said, I think Holly doesn't have a clue who Sasha's dad is. It's probably Sidwell. I don't know if it's Sidwell. I don't think so. You said, yeah, I think that is doing the whole... Seemed like a year ago it happened. Sandy said Bill Eckert should be the father so Sasha could stay with Cody. Isn't Sasha supposed to be like Michael's age, like the actors, 32 to 36? I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, yeah, if Sasha was born in 1992 or 93, then she was born after I was. Am I older than Sasha Gilmore? Maybe, according to these writers. Also, like, Sophia Madsen is very youthful. She could easily pass as like under 30, for sure. But yeah, I will say the one thing that I do appreciate is that the next day as well, Sasha went straight to Robert and told him that she is Holly's daughter and that Holly is saying he is the father. And they went for a DNA test straight away before Holly could even catch wind of it. So now we just gotta wait. But I think the funniest part was that Robert had virtually no reaction to the news. Like, he didn't react at all of the possibility of having another hidden daughter out there. It was more like, here we go again, classic Holly. Like, he was just like, well, at least, you know, you seem cool, Sasha. Like, he's just so used to the ridiculous shenanigans that gets thrown at him by this woman that he just feels nothing about the potential instant daughter that he potentially suddenly has. And, you know, he's been through that before with a very young girl. But I don't even know. Yeah, he's just numb to it, you guys. Like, he's just over it, I feel. Either that or Robert was just so annoyed with the story that he didn't give a reaction. Holly could think Robert is the dad, but he isn't. Women on Mari get it wrong all the time. That's true. You're 2 years younger than Sasha. They're setting Sasha up to be with Michael after he finds out about Dirty Drew and Weeping Willow. We'll talk about that after too. But I did not like Michael and Sasha together. I was glad that she got out of that relationship. And honestly, she was a much more compelling character after she left him. Yeah, he's used to Holly's antics. Exactly. Robert will never question Holly. Maybe. Nathan, you said this felt forced when the reveal took place of Holly as Sasha's mother. Well, him and the other woman together with Robert. The actor left the show to be on Young and the Restless for a while. All right. Yeah, Michael and Sasha were boring. She was essentially just eye candy when she was with him. There was no personality traits for her. All right. But yeah, as I was saying, like, Robert was numb to it. I'm getting numb to this show at this point because this poor girl, Sasha Gilmore, seems to be the go-to character for these writers to never give a moment of bliss to for the rest of her life. Like, I put this all in my notes, okay? So I'm just going to read this. She gives up one boyfriend for the good of a child, and then she ends up getting hooked on fentanyl, meets Brando, likes him, gets clean, ends up pregnant by him, starts to love him, gets married to him, only to lose the baby. And then soon after, Brando gets murdered. She like falls off the wagon and has a mental breakdown. Ends up in a conservatorship that his mom is in charge of, with a gambling addiction, who ends up in gambling debt with a mobster. And she's willing to make Sasha look like she's on drugs again and gets her thrown into a prison for the criminally insane to hide her gambling addiction. Thankfully, she met and became friends with Cody that time. And he broke her out of there and made sure Gladys was found out about. And then they take nearly 2 years to slowly build these two into a romantic situation. And just when they finally decide to get together, they make them cousins. I don't get it. Why can't they just let Sasha be happy? It's like, it's almost hilarious, but it sucks. Like, here she are, she's finally away from drama. She's like content with her life. She's happy cooking for the Quartermains. Her boyfriend's, you know, a stable handler or whatever his position is called. They have a pretty simple life, but in a really big mansion, and they get to be together, and all their friends love that they're together, and it's just been great for like the moment that it happened, and now this. Like, I'm just mad about it. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. It's so stupid. So stupid. Angel said, at least Sasha only cheated on Michael so she can keep his child, unlike Michael's current wife. The storyline with Sasha is ridiculous. All of a sudden, she's Holly's daughter, really. Yeah, it's so dumb. You think Cyrus is going to be her father, Kaiwan? She's the Punisher character. Angela said they had Sasha leave her lucrative modeling career for this boring man. Then they pull this shit. They got us invested in Sasha and Cody. Now they're taking it away. I hate the storyline. Yeah, I mean, like, ultimately, obviously, people can like the couples that they like. I liked Sasha and Cody as a couple. I understand that there are people that didn't, but it's just the ridiculousness of, like, they never let this girl be happy. She's always going through some crazy shit, and they just put her in more crazy shit. Like, it's maddening. It's totally maddening. Albert, you said maybe they will go the guiding light route with Cody and Sasha kissing cousins. I don't want to see that shit. I don't want to see that shit. I will, like, they're forever, if they are in fact cousins, they are forever ruined for me as a couple already. So I just don't want to see it. Let's talk about Cody for a second, though. So meanwhile, his story, while this is all going down for Sasha, the estate that he grew up in has been put on sale, and he wanted to buy it and turn it into something, but it's like $6 million. And he doesn't want to put his hand out to the Qs because he knows that they have a history of people putting their hand out for money. Fair enough. Sasha actually tries to do that for him with Michael, who declines. But unfortunately for her, Tracy heard the whole thing and ripped her to shreds and told her to know her place. It's a good thing that Tracy wasn't also made aware that con artist Holly Sutton is her mom. Yet, anyway. But I digress. I said I didn't want to talk about that part anymore, so let's just move on from that. I'm getting tired of seeing incest. Yeah, I've never been into it to begin with. And also I just never watched Game of Thrones, so I'm glad I never seen it if that's what's going on there. Angel said, I just find Cody boring and the actor isn't hot enough for me. See, the actor is kind of my type a little bit, low-key. But, the thing is, like, Cody could be a compelling character, but they just have him, living a simple life. But we know that he's good to, for situations that are going to call him to action. If he can break into a mental institution and get that girl out and rescue her from a crazy man, then more power to him. All right. So let's move on. We're going to talk about something that actually put a smile on my face this week from GH. So last week, or the previous week, Brad found out that Portia tampered with Heather's test results. And this week he made sure that she knew that, or that he knew that she knew. No, that she knew that he knew. Before he did, though, Portia had gone over to Curtis to confess that she tampered with her tests. Because she feared that the hospital would find out during their investigation, and that Ava knew that she did, but reassured her that Ava's main priority is Trina. And just when she found comfort in knowing that no one else knew, Brad greets her and shows her his findings and asks if he should bring this to the board and state his opinion, or if it's something that he should just keep to himself, provide the evidence, but say it could be a glitch, provided that she gives him a gold star review and a full-time job after his probation period. And honestly, good for him. Good for him. It's not that the staff doesn't have every right to be cautious about him. Obviously they do. But what we're hearing from the other staff, like Elizabeth, is that everything is going off without a hitch in the lab since he's gotten back. And I genuinely do believe that he's trying to be a better person. I think he's trying to get his life back on track, make an honest living, and not succumb to his old ways. I think that that's genuinely the route he wants to take. Maybe to make Britt proud, his best friend who used to run the hospital. Whatever his reasons, I don't think that he has a plan to get back into his scheming ways. So we'll see. Angel, you're glad Brad found out. Yeah, me too. Because Portia was picking on him pretty hard. And again, like I said, it's not like the staff don't have a right to be cautious about him, given his history. But she's been drilling him every chance that she got, and he's doing nothing but good work. So it's this is karma. You effed around and you found out. Brooklyn, you said, I'm so impressed with Brad, especially since Portia had been a pain in the butt. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the Quartermain men. When it comes to ELQ, Michael and Drew can never see eye to eye with Ned on what's best for the company. And I don't know if it's just my bias, because it very well could be, because I can't stand Michael, and Drew, despite his hero complex, he just seems to be a genuinely shitty person who's only out for his own self-interest, and a bit of a dog, obviously. And, he's covering up his interest with philanthropy. And I don't know, because of that, I find myself taking Ned's side more often. And this is another one of those times. He feels like he should run the company if Drew gets elected, and Drew thinks that Michael should. But the pattern that I've noticed is that Drew and Michael are never willing to even give Ned an inch or hear him out on anything or come up with some kind of compromise that works for all of them. It's their plan or no plan. And thanks to James a few weeks ago, in case he forgot, Ned is aware that at some point Willow and Drew kissed. So he decided to hire a PI, the same one that was tailing Carly for a little bit ago. to watch them. She obviously failed when it came to Carly, but Felicia says that she's good, so maybe we'll actually see her being good at her job. I don't know. We'll see. I'm here for it. Hey, Allison. Ned is the family patriarch. Drew hasn't really done anything that ELQ does. Yeah. Like, he's got his own company to watch. It's so stupid. Just let Ned run it. Oh, you want Michael to catch Drew and Willow together? He might. Ned is going to blow up that uncle-nephew bond. I hope he does, honestly. I hope he does. It's about time Michael got leveled a little bit, and Drew. They both need to get leveled and get their, get off their high horses. Alright. But let's move on. Let's talk about the Davis girls now. Those hot messes. So, Alexis has been sitting in Pentonville, waiting for a trial or for her lawyer, Martin, to get her out of there. And with the gun turning up at the PCPD, she was definitely getting out of there. But as you might recall, Sonny was ready to confess to all his crimes to trade himself in so Alexis would go free, and Christina wouldn't, throw herself to the wolves. And he was going to do that in exchange for keeping Carly and Christina and Alexis out of trouble and not getting charged as accessories to the murder that Sonny did. And God knows what other crimes he was going to confess to. Dante had found out about the evidence and picked up on the fact that they were going to wait for Sonny's confession before mentioning the gun. Shady, yes, but it should be the standard on how one treats a mobster in a city that they're trying to keep crime out of. But lucky for Dante, he didn't end up throwing his whole career away for his father, because Martin blew in like a hurricane, wondering why he's just hearing about this new evidence that would exonerate Alexis. So with that, they go to court, and Alexis was free from Pentonville, but not free from the never-ending drama between Christina and Molly. Christina doesn't learn from her mistakes. She sure doesn't. Rick was brilliant getting Christina to totally lose her shit. We'll talk about that in a second, too. So, yeah. Actually, we'll just talk about it now. We might as well. So, despite Alexis being free and exonerated from that murder, or at least free for now until something else comes up, Christina still has her situation in the sense that they're going to court because Christina fell out of a window. It's basically a battle to see who is guilty in the situation. Some people argue that it's Christina because she brought herself there. Ava, it looks like from the pictures that she pushed her. We know that she didn't. We know that Christina tripped over a bag, and that no one is guilty in the situation except for Christina, like, going there in the first place. So I don't know. This court date seems silly, but Rick knows Christina well enough to know that she will react emotionally and angrily towards Ava because she's emotionally unstable. It's just the truth. And so he arranged to run into Christina at the PC Grill, and of course she could not help herself, and she made herself scream in front of a room full of people that were watching. She broke a glass, cut Rick's lip, and Alexis kind of came in at the tail end of that and just was like, "You idiot! You're giving him the case. You're making yourself look like a maniac. You're gonna make these charges against Ava drop, and maybe the charges against Christina, might get brought up again. Even though I think Ava dropped those charges, right? Or dropped the accusation that attempted murder. I don't even remember now. Either way, it's crazy. Christina knows she wasn't pushed. Christina's bipolar like her dad. You know, it's funny, like, that they told this story with Morgan. When by all attire, like, it felt like Christina was practically written to be bipolar. And we even seen Molly at one point think that she was bipolar. So, the fact that Christina's the only one that's not, like, maybe there's something wrong, like, maybe there's, like, a chemically imbalance in my brain that is causing me to act like a, you know, like out of control, essentially. Because it's just getting worse. It's getting worse and worse and worse. And maybe she is bipolar. That's a good theory. You know, they're probably going to give Ava acid? What? I think this is just grief. I mean, it's for sure partially grief, but, like, Christina's always sort of made sort of reckless decisions in her life. So it's hard to say. Molly had PTSD from the bus wreck. Yeah, but she thought it was bipolar disorder for a while. Crazy people are the last to know they're crazy. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Oh, man. But yeah, so out of all the Davis girls, Sam's probably the only sane one currently. She's, like, you know, she's in a much better place mentally as well as physically healthier too. And it turns out that Sam is, in fact, Lulu's donor, even though she mentioned months ago that she was getting tested. Apparently, she just never did, and it slipped her mind. She had the talk with Dante and the kids once she knew for sure that she would be a match for sure. Like, she got all the tests done, whereas Lucky only had half of them before thinking he was fine. She went through the whole thing. And then when she knew for sure that she could, in fact, have a surgery to save Lulu's life, that's when she told Dante and the kids. And of course, other people in the hospital found out too. Laura found out. She's very happy. Elizabeth told Lucky as well. And by the way, I gotta talk about that scene for a second because Lucky's crashing at Laura's house, clearly. Ace is there. He's back with Laura. Also, Laura and Tracy had a conversation about Ace, and Tracy just said he was a terror, but it was a very sweet, endearing moment. And they had a sweet moment of talking about when Tracy raised Lulu when she couldn't, and how Lulu used to call her step monster, and was a brat, but she enjoyed every second of it. So that was sweet. But yeah, as for Lucky and Liz, I just had to point out something. So Elizabeth tells Lucky that Sam is the donor. They're very happy, and they hug it out and all this stuff. Ace gets out of bed, and, you know, he's downstairs for a bit, and, you know, they're talking about Lucky's nephew, essentially. And presumably, they put him back upstairs, because he was just gone after that. And then Elizabeth offers Lucky a ride, I think to the hospital, and they both leave the house without Ace. Like, we see them leaving out the door. And I was like, wait, the kid that you're babysitting. My God, I was like, listen, some of us can see these details, all right? So when we notice stuff like that, it drives us mad. Like, come on. At least have Liz throw in well, now that Kevin's home or something, you know? Ugh. Alright. Now, Sam also goes to the Davis house, Alexis's house, to share the news with her mom and little sisters. And they had, like, a good moment between the four of them, and then, like, 2 seconds later, they're like, Christina and Molly are fighting again. And Sam's just over it and leaves. And apparently that is legitimately the last scene, the very last scene of those 4 women together. Christina, Molly, Alexis, and Sam. Like, that's the last scene they shared together before she was done. So the end is very much near for Sam McCall. And I still can't believe that they're having Sam go out like this. Kelly Monaco drama aside, like, it just feels like such a sizzle, a fizzle to like have a character with like 21 years of a legacy where most of it she was spent being a badass. This is just how she goes out in a hospital bed. Although, you know, it's not like it's not a commendable way to die, saving her boyfriend's comatose ex-wife from dying, which, by the way, like, just because she has this surgery that will save her liver doesn't mean that will wake her up from the coma. Like, isn't that the whole point of why she's not on the donor list? That's not going to be like the miracle that it is. I know that Lulu's been cast, but surely something else is going to be into play on why she wakes up. Otherwise, it's even more dumb of a storyline. Now, I will say that I do have a hunch that it's going to be a little more than just your ordinary run-of-the-mill procedure that goes wrong, because like most surgeries, even the simple ones, things can go wrong regardless. Even if it's like a pretty safe surgery, there's always a risk. But I don't think it's just going to be like, this one just happened to be a risk. Because Lulu this week had nearly died unexpectedly because her own ventilator seemed to be shut off. Thankfully, Isaiah happened to be there to save her until a new one was brought in. Now, most of the staff at GH are saying this could be sabotage because equipment doesn't just do this. So if I were a betting man, I would say that there is a good chance that Sam is just going to be the first casualty of someone that's purposely sabotaging the hospital. The question is, who's doing it and why? Theories. I can see some of you in the chat are already thinking it might be Cyrus. And I get why, because at some point Cyrus said, I forget who he said it to, maybe to Martin or Laura, but he said, I have just given Lulu the best gift possible. And so there's like a little bit of a, why? What do you mean? Situation there. Sam says she's gonna drop her kids to the queues. That's true. Oh man, they really have turned that house into a boarding house. It's crazy. Always kids there all the time. Allison, you said I read Cyrus put something in Sam's IV bag and that kills her. Hard to say. Now, maybe, I don't know. Like, another theory that is kind of going around is that it's Sidwell. Jason and Anna kind of had a conversation with what do you call it? With Jack, talking about how Sidwell's body wasn't found at the camp, and that the plane driver of the WSB jet was killed, and you know they're wondering if perhaps someone took something with them that Sidwell wants back, which we know Holly definitely took some of his diamonds. And so maybe he's out for revenge. Who knows? Rick, you said I'm doing it. You're the one killing the people at the hospital? But yeah, but it also could just be like anything different. Like there is I think it would be a compelling story. Your theory, who was it? Whose theory was it? Was it your theory, Allison? Whoever said Cyrus first, that Cyrus feels like he's sort of being like he's mercy killing. He's trying to free these people and give them to God when they're suffering. Like it's kind of like a weird turn for Cyrus to take, but like because he's so, I don't know, neck deep supposedly in religion, like some people that are religious are that like wild that they just, you know, they let their religion dictate or justify doing certain things like that. So I don't know. I don't know. But at the same time, like, it could be just as compelling of a story of like there's someone that we are not aware of that is trying to purposely sabotage the hospital, and it puts the hospital in the forefront of a storyline, which is great too. Why would Cyrus kill Sam though? So if we go by your theory, maybe Cyrus is also a match for Lulu. And when he found out that Sam was also a match, then he killed her so that he could be the one to do it. Because I don't think that did they ever discuss if Cyrus was a match? And it would also make sense too why Cyrus says, I'm about to give her the greatest gift. But then it's like, why would he try to kill Lulu though? But yeah, it's like I don't know. I guess if you ignore that potential theory, then what Cyrus says does make sense. And then it just leaves more possibilities for the story that's being told of why Lulu's ventilator was turned off in the first place. Yeah, like it could easily be a Mercy killing Allison. Like that's why it's like that makes sense to me. But then we know that Sam is dying, so if they're gonna connect the two, then that's mysterious. So I'm okay with like there just being like a separate reason that maybe someone else is trying to sabotage the hospital for reasons that we're not aware of yet. Maybe someone we don't even know. Just a new story that's gonna be taking place. And again, I don't mind new stories. We'll just have to see how it goes, how it pans out. I'm down for a hospital storyline. But yeah, that was GH in a nutshell. I don't really have much notes beyond this. Someone that's related to the teacher that Lulu was dating at the time? Interesting. Yeah, I can't remember his name either, but the guy that died in the bar explosion. Dustin. Maybe Heather broke out again. Oh god, I hope not. No, I feel like somebody would notice. Who knows? But also, like, why would she kill Lulu? We shall see, time will tell. I think the story, you know, for Heather is that she's better than she was. But, like, I don't know. I mean, Steve's coming back, and I don't know if it's for a handful of episodes or more, but hopefully, because he's coming back, they're gonna remind the audience as to why the only other person that knew what Steve did was murdered, and who by. Oh, Steve? I don't think Steve would just show up to Port Charles and then just like start killing people. I mean, like, he did go to jail for essentially a mercy killing. Well, not a mercy killing, but like he killed someone to save someone else, to harvest their organs to the poor girl that needed saving, because the guy was a low-life criminal. So they played God with his life to save a girl. And that's what he went to jail for. And Heather tried to save him by framing his ex-girlfriend, Maggie. Basically, she drugged and killed her and forged her writing and wrote a letter confessing to what Steve actually did. So, yeah. But yeah, we'll see what goes on there. There's some interesting things coming up, I feel. Some stories should have not been told, like the Holly being Sasha's mom, Robert most likely being Sasha's father. Oy. And, you know, Sam dying. I just wish that Kelly Monaco's final scenes of Sam were a bit more action-packed and like a bit more on brand to who she was as a character. Not that it isn't a noble thing that Sam decided to do, but it's just, I don't know, this feels lackluster. But I shouldn't be surprised given the drama between Kelly and the writers or the head honcho Frank. Time will tell. But yeah, I don't have too much more to say. I know I was gonna stream this Wednesday. I'm still on the fence to do it just because I've got some stuff coming up that I need to focus on. But if I don't this Wednesday, then for sure I will next Wednesday, and it'll be the day before Halloween, so I'll find something spooky. Even if we've watched it before, I'll something spooky and GH related. Or maybe we'll just do a theme of ghosts again. We've done that before, but it can be a tradition. Yeah. But yeah, I'll let you know like Wednesday early in the day on the community posts that I make, if we're gonna live stream Wednesday night. Angel, you said Sam's funeral better be a tearjerker filled with flashbacks. Not only one person better be mourning Sam. Most of the town should. Yeah, she's basically going to go to sleep and not wake up. Lordy. Why couldn't Luke be Sasha's father? Who knows? I mean, it doesn't... Well, Luke's dead now, so it doesn't even matter. But damn. Yeah, I don't know why they're doing this for Sasha. But yeah, that's that on that, folks. Sam's death won't be good. Frank Valentini tells the writers to write what he wants. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how things go. It is what it is. Hopefully Kelly Monaco will actually speak up and put her money where her mouth is, and after her last scene is aired, then give us at least her side of the story and not just like cryptic notes here and there. One can hope. But yeah, I will, if I don't see you this Wednesday, I will see you next Sunday for sure. And if you liked this live stream, give it a big old thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to. And I will catch you guys in a few days. Have a good week. Catch you on the flip side. Please let GH be better this week than it was the last. All right. Good night. Mwah.